The LED indicator light panel is located on the front side of the LTE router. There are over 10 indicator lights total that each represent a unique function. By understanding the functionalities behind each indicator light, you can better understand how the LTE router works. The first indicator light is called the power indicator, and it simply reflects if the LTE router is powered on. If the power indicator light is illuminated, it means that the LTE router is powered on. If the power indicator light is not illuminated, it means that the LTE router is powered off. The second indicator light is called the LTE indicator, and it reflects if the LTE router is connected to an LTE signal from one of the major carriers. If the LTE indicator light is illuminated, it means that the LTE router is connected to an LTE signal. If the LTE indicator is flashing, it means that it is currently transferring data. If the LTE indicator light is not illuminated or flashing, it means that the LTE router is not connected to an LTE signal. If you experience a flashing or non-illuminated light, it means that your LTE router is currently searching for an LTE signal, which should only take about 5 minutes. The third indicator light is called the 2.4 GHz/5 GHz Wi-Fi indicator and reflects if the LTE router's Wi-Fi is on. If the 2.4 GHz/5 GHz Wi-Fi indicator is illuminated, it means that the LTE router is broadcasting Wi-Fi. If the indicator is flashing, it means that it is currently transferring data. If the indicator is not illuminated or flashing, it means that the LTE router is not broadcasting Wi-Fi. This could mean that your LTE router may not have the Wi-Fi antennas plugged in on the back side of the device. The fourth indicator light is called the WPS indicator and reflects if the WPS is activated and ready to connect. If the WPS indicator is not illuminated, it means that the WPS is not activated. WPS stands for Wi-Fi Protected Setup, and it is a feature that is designed to make the process of connecting to a secure wireless network from a mobile device easier. By using WPS, you can prevent having to connect the LTE router's Wi-Fi network manually via the settings menu on your mobile device. To enable WPS, press and hold the reset button located on the front of the device for between 1 and 5 seconds. If you hold the button any longer, the device will reset itself. The fifth indicator light is actually a series of indicator lights located across the top of each of the LAN ports. If any of the LAN indicators are illuminated, it means that there is a device connected to the LAN port via an Ethernet cable. If any of the indicators are flashing, it means that data is currently being transferred. If any of the indicators are not illuminating or flashing, it means that the LTE router does not have a device connected to it via that specific LAN port. The sixth indicator light is called the WAN indicator and reflects if a device is connected to that WAN port via an Ethernet cable. It is located at the upper corner of the WAN port. If the WAN port is illuminated, that means that there is a device connected to that very port. If the indicator is flashing, that means that data is currently being transferred. If the indicator is not illuminated or flashing, it means that there is no device connected to the WAN port of the LTE router. The seventh type of indicator light is actually a series of 3 indicator lights located on the front panel of the device, called the LTE signal strength indicator lights. If any of the LTE signal strength lights are illuminated, that is an indication of the level of LTE signal strength that the LTE router is receiving. If any of the indicator lights are not illuminative, that means that the LTE router is not receiving any LTE signal and may need to be moved to a different part of your home or office. If the LED signal strength indicator light with the 2 tick marks is illuminated, that indicates a low level of LTE signal strength. If the light with 3 marks is illuminated, that means a medium level of LTE strength. And if the light with 4 tick marks is illuminated, that indicates a high level of LTE signal strength. The 8th type of indicator light is the virtual SIM or VS indicator light. If the VS indicator light is illuminated, that means that the LTE router has virtual SIM mode on. If the VS indicator light is not illuminated, that means that the LTE router has